Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 240 leaks are now out as we see the group discussing the ambushed Kenjaku before the fight between Gojo and Sukuna is over to ensure that Kenjaku's plan will not come to fruition. Before sending out the heavy hitters, we see Angel advise to bring out Takaba first, to go to Kenjaku and stall him while the others go for him. This plan was already set in advance, and that could be a big factor as to why Yuta and Maki are not there. They probably also agreed that Kashimo would be the first one to be able to go after Sukuna if Gojo were to lose. Seeing this plan lets us know why Yuta and Maki have not shown up yet. They can't go all out to the battlegrounds and have a surprise attack on them, and I'm sure Yuji volunteered to go after Sukuna first, while Higuruma seemed like a good duo to pair with him. During this time now, it should be Yuta and Maki heading after Kenjaku while everyone else deals with Sukuna. They're the best ones to deal with Sukuna, and Hikari has already stayed back to deal with Farame. The team has to make a tough choice as they are not only down Megumi, but are going against the strongest sorcerer ever, and then to have to defeat Kenjaku as well is no easy feat. For the latest chapter, it gives us speculation on what to theorize for chapter 241. Let's start with Takaba's demise as a comedian. Coming into this fight against Kenjaku, Takaba was easily able to counter Kenjaku's attacks due to his curse technique and can manifest situations he thinks are funny into reality. During the fight, however, Kenjaku manages to stay careful and finds out that his ability comes down to Takaba's confidence in himself as a comedian. This allowed Kenjaku to take over Takaba's confidence and make him question his own purpose as a comedian. He countered Takaba effectively and even managed to make Takaba laugh, instead becoming a better comedian than him. He used his logical counter arguments to Takaba and was not pleased at all. Takaba now slowly losing his edge, he really has started to question his comedic gauge. He even talked about Kenjaku's outfit and how his appeal makes him more funny. We then get a panel seeing that there are two types of people in the business: comics who are funny and comics who think they are funny. Takaba swears to himself that he is funny, but once he sees KiiNGKhyy, his confidence completely shatters. Even back when Megumi tells Takaba if he's going to kill KiiNGKhyy, then he should at least get his points first, and Takaba responds saying he won't do something that would permanently take away someone's smile, indicating that he won't kill anyone. Now seeing KiiNGKhyy smile on the floor and lying there dead might have done some emotional damage to him that will not help him in this case. His comedic skills won't get him far now as long as he has no confidence in the jokes he delivers. With Yuta, he's already declared to be the one to go after Kenjaku and kill him. I think he has the best chance given that Gojo is no longer here and he will probably stand no chance against Sukuna as well, as Sukuna needs more than power to be beat. As for Kenjaku, he would need to be killed as well with something other than power. This guy has lived for over 1,000 years and has knowledge on basically every curse technique ever made. It won't be easy for someone like Yuta and Maki to be able to defeat him, especially now that Gojo is gone. Yuta has to take on the mantle and for good sake needs to be the one who gets it done. He is now the number one sorcerer after Gojo leaving, and he will have to work on taking on the mantle of the strongest. He was very hurt and distraught at seeing Gojo lose, and this could help him channel in that anger to truly realize his purpose of being number one. He cannot let his fellow comrades down, and we see that the team they have pulled together is their best option. With Yuta at the top of the scene, he will be the best for negating Kenjaku's plans. They had sent Takaba as a decoy, but Yuta could be making an appearance very soon, as Takaba won't be enough to defeat Kenjaku. Kenjaku has trackers of curse energy and will know when Yuta leaves, so that only leaves Takaba as a distraction to stall him until they get there. With Gojo now defeated, their options are slim, and now comes the time to see what everyone will do in Gojo's absence. He was embodied as the strongest, and no one else knew defeat as long as he was there. With him gone, it would be cool to see how they respond to the challenges in front of them as they hold the fate of the world in their hands. It makes even more sense as to why Yuji is being able to go against Sukuna. He seems to have a curse technique that we don't know yet, and Yuji is also from the Heian era, so we could see his memories return or a special power up inside him that was never revealed. Many think it's one of the death paintings, and I could see that as well, as it could benefit Yuji a lot having those with him since he's drenched in Sukuna's curse energy. He's the best counter for Sukuna currently, and having Higuruma with him could also help with delivering judgment to Sukuna. But we will see, as Sukuna should still be injured himself from his battle with Gojo and cannot use everything like he once could. I don't have much confidence in Yuji as of lately. He just hasn't been that guy who looks like he could stop Sukuna. Even with this fight against Higuruma, it was more of Higuruma's mercy that let Yuji live, and because of this, we haven't seen much else from Yuji that could indicate how he can defeat Sukuna currently. With all things considered, I wonder just how Yuji will be able to defeat the King of Curses. I think it will take more than strength to get to Sukuna. Can Sukuna even be reached without strength? He's shown time and time again that he doesn't care to consult with humans, especially frail ones who cling to life. Maybe if Yuji can connect to him through strength, they could have a chat. This will be the second time they have talked since Sukuna entered Megumi's body. With Gojo gone now, how will Yuji respond? He's been quiet for a while now as the shine has continued to go over to Yuta and Hikari, but don't be surprised if we see Yuji make a stand. With Jujutsu Kaisen's new color spread, we see Yuji with Hikari, Yuta, and Maki, who are Jujutsu Kaisen's top 3 and the most powerful currently. We now have Yuji alongside him, making him a part of the big 3 for the top 4. Now with everything on the line, Let's see how he will stand up against Sukuna with the top 3. We know what the heavy hitters can do, so what is in the cards for Yuji? There's a reason why Kari specifically went after Rame and left Sukuna to Yuji and Higuruma. They're planning something, and it might have to do with what's on Yuji's left arm, as he seems to have what could be a curse technique for him. It's still questionable, but Yuji now has a scale on his arms, and it could be a full body transformation, similar to Mahito. Yuji will need to pull some new cards out if he wants to even stand a chance against Sukuna. Right now, the power difference is too great, and Yuji was completely embarrassed last time. Yuji and Sukuna have one of the most complex relationships, and now it seems fitting for Yuji to be the one who would take him on after going against Gojo and Kashimo. Yuji has become stronger than ever, and he wants nothing more than to defeat Sukuna and bring back Megumi. He now seems like the only one content and still bringing him back. His heart and love is what could be the key for defeating Sukuna, but Sukuna's disgust for love is also a challenge of its own. I wanted to also go over another theory that Takaba says to Kenjaku. He tells him if there is something that's more interesting to Kenjaku, would he stop his plan, and Kenjaku says who knows. This could be another possible hint of something, but what if Kenjaku completely stops his plans because he finds something even more interesting? I don't know what could be more interesting as a merger for Kenjaku, but if anyone could come up with it, it's Takaba. For Kenjaku to fully complete the merger though, he has to kill everyone except Sukuna and himself, and that still has not been fully achieved. So what other reason would Kenjaku have for wanting to be interested in something else? He has done so far now to creating his plan and everything to be in store for it, up to birthing Yuji and bringing back to Sukuna and then sealing Gojo and starting the Culling Games. Everything has been put in place for this exact plan that he finds so interesting, so I wonder if he also thought about doing something else before this. For a guy like him, what else could he want? He only has friends who he finds interesting or who are more powerful than him. That's a short list. Kenjaku's ultimate plan has to deal with his past and why he's so obsessed with this mission. Jujutsu Kaisen has this theme of sorcerers from old times who are coming back into the modern era to fulfill their goals, and instead of leaving their time, they now want to continue their wishes. It makes you think they live with regrets of their own and instead wish to continue instead of just focusing on their era and timeline that they originally came from. There might be more to Takaba's curse technique than what they are letting on about. Angel talks about Takaba's curse technique but doesn't fully say what it is. We already know partially about his technique, but what if there's even more that we don't know about? Takaba could have even more to his technique that could rival Kenjaku, and soon enough he will have to prove it as the situation is dire and he needs to do something to level the playing field. We could see Takaba enhance his curse technique even more as he isn't aware of it and ultimately be able to stall Kenjaku in the worthwhile time. His curse technique is so dangerous that even Angel does not want anyone to tell him about it. He could have an even more ridiculous power with him, and it could be waiting to be used for him as he can still level up in this fight and get an even better. He doesn't have much experience, but with this fight it will garner enough in time to have an increased technique. I think we end up seeing another flashback of Takaba and he fully regains his confidence as he knows what he is here for. He's having no fun against Kenjaku right now, but he needs the confidence to think he is still funny. It's only right for him to do it in a big way and showcase that. He's already stated how he wants to take over the show and become the main act. Now's the time for that. Only time will tell for what he will do. As Takaba is stalling Kenjaku, I think by the end of the next chapter, Yuta joins into the fight and embraces Takaba's comedy. This will allow Takaba to fully command back his strength as Yuta now knows his curse technique and could help in a way without telling Takaba about it. I think Takaba will definitely get some help in the coming chapters and it could be Yuta. We already know their plan and Yuta has not shown up anywhere yet. He could be on the way currently for Kenjaku, and this has to be the most logical reason, as there's no way to send Takaba to go after Kenjaku by himself but to only stall for backup. Someone has to be going out to go against him, and Yuta and Maki seem to be the best choice. I think Takaba rebounds from last chapter and I'm hoping for something good from him. He's a funny character and needs to understand his own worth and funniness to know that not everyone will like your jokes, but there's two people who succeed in the comedic world. Ones who are funny and ones who think they are funny. That's all it is for Takaba. As soon as he regains that confidence in himself, it's over for Kenjaku. Can't wait to see what they do next as the series continues. Well, I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.